My father said, "You'll never amount to anything." I left that night. 20 years later, he stood outside my company gates, asking for $5. I walked past him. The coffee in my hand had gone cold by the time I saw him. I was standing in the parking lot of my manufacturing plant. Morning shift starting. 7 a.m. Gray November sky threatening rain. 3 buildings sprawling across 6 acres. 200 employees clocking in. My name on the sign out front in steel letters. Chen Precision Manufacturing. Estier 2014. The morning air smelled like diesel and rain and metal shavings. Industrial smells. Success smells. A man stood by the main gate, outside the fence, shoulders hunched against the cold, wearing a jacket too thin for the weather, holding a piece of cardboard torn from a box, marker writing, "Anything helps, God bless." I was 50 feet away, walking from my car, Mercedes S-Class, parked in the spot marked, "Reserved, CEO." Same spot I parked in every morning for the last 6 years since we'd moved to this facility. Something about the man made me slow down, something familiar in the posture, the way he shifted his weight, the way his hands held the sign. I recognized the hands first, thick knuckles, scarred from years of factory work, the same hands that used to slam doors, throw beer bottles, point fingers, then his face. 20 years hadn't been kind. The alcohol had carved him hollow, cheeks sunken, skin sallow and gray, hair thin and greasy, beard patchy and unkempt, but the bone structure was the same, the eyes were the same, pale blue, watery now, roomy, but still his, my father, standing outside my company, begging for change. He didn't recognize me. I stood there in the parking lot, keys in one hand, briefcase in the other, wearing a suit that cost more than he'd made in 6 months at his peak, watching him, processing. Security was watching from the booth. Randy, good guy, former Marine. He'd worked for me for 3 years. He was looking at my father, then at me, waiting to see if he should do something. A few early shift workers were trickling in through the side entrance. Lunchboxes, thermoses, high-vis vests. Some of them glanced at the man by the gate. Most ignored him. You see enough homeless people in industrial areas. They blend into the background. Someone honked behind me, impatient. I stepped aside, let them pass. My father looked up at the sound, looked right at me. "Spare some change?" His voice was rough, damaged. Years of smoking and drinking. "Just $5. Anything helps, please." I said nothing, just looked at him. His face was blank. No memory, no recognition. I was just another person in a suit to him now. Another stranger walking past. Another potential $5. But I remembered everything. I was 17 when he said it. Senior year of high school. Spring. Late April. I remember because my birthday was coming up. May 3rd. I'd been planning to ask if we could do something. Just the two of us. Dinner maybe. Something normal. We were in the kitchen. The small one in the rental house we'd been in for 3 years. The lights were buzzing overhead. Fluorescent. One of them flickering. The sink was full of dishes I'd been told to wash but hadn't gotten to yet. Homework had run late. I was tired. He came in drunk. Not unusual. Most nights after his shift he'd stop at Murphy's bar. Come home after 10, smelling like cigarettes and Budweiser and anger. His face already red, eyes unfocused. "You're lazy," he said. Loud, aggressive, looking for a fight. Just like your mother was. My mother had left when I was 12. Couldn't take it anymore. She'd sent birthday cards for 2 years. Then nothing. I didn't blame her. I didn't respond to him. I never did. Learned early that responding made it worse. "You hear me?" He was getting louder. "Lazy. Worthless. You'll never amount to anything. You're 17 years old and you can't even wash fucking dishes when I tell you to." I stared at the dish soap bottle. Green label. Dawn. Original scent. I can still see it perfectly. "You'll end up just like me," he continued. "Or worse. Probably worse. At least I have a job. You'll never amount to anything. You hear me? Nothing. You're nothing." He stood there for another minute, waiting for me to react, waiting for an excuse to escalate. I gave him nothing. He walked out, slammed the door, went to his room. I heard the TV turn on. Football game. Volume too loud. I stood there for 20 minutes, staring at those dishes, at that soap bottle. Then I went to my room, started packing. Duffel bag, old canvas, used it for gym class. I packed 2 shirts, some jeans, socks, underwear, my wallet, $32 in cash, everything I had, tips from bussing tables at the diner downtown. I waited until midnight, heard him snoring through the thin walls, passed out on his bed probably, still dressed, still stinking. I grabbed my bag, walked through the kitchen, saw those dirty dishes still in the sink, almost washed them. Old habit, pleasing him, avoiding conflict, didn't. Walked out through the back door, closed it quietly, got in my car, 1987 Honda Civic, rust spots, broken radio, but it was mine. Bought it myself with saved tips, $800. I drove away and didn't look back. The first year was hell. I slept in that car for 6 months, parked behind the 24-hour Walmart on the edge of town, used their bathroom to wash up, sink showers at 3 a.m. when nobody was around, bought cheap deodorant and soap, kept myself presentable enough. I worked night shifts at a warehouse, loading trucks, $10 an hour, 40 hours a week when I could get them. Morning shifts at a gas station when I couldn't, $7.50 an hour, shit pay, but I took every hour they'd give me. I ate ramen, dollar store bread. Day-old donuts the gas station let me take home. I saved every cent I didn't need for gas and food. Winter was the worst. Sleeping in a car in January. Ohio winter, below freezing most nights. I'd run the engine for heat until I couldn't afford the gas. Then I'd just pile on every piece of clothing I owned and shiver through it. By spring, I'd saved $2,000. Got a studio apartment, $400 a month. Roaches and broken heat, but it was mine. Had walls, had a door I could lock. By year 2, I'd enrolled in community college, manufacturing technology, nights and weekends, kept working full-time, slept 4 hours a night, drank so much coffee I developed an ulcer. By year 5, I had an associate's degree and a job at a machine shop, precision metalwork, learned to read blueprints, learned to run CNC machines, made $13 an hour, felt like a fortune. By year 8, I was a floor supervisor, $18 an hour, managing a team, learning the business side, seeing the margins, seeing where the money really was. By year 10, I'd started my own business, Chen Precision, small contracts at first, simple stuff, making parts for local manufacturers. I ran one machine, did all the sales, did all the accounting, worked 90-hour weeks. By year 15, I'd bought out my competitor, merged their equipment and contracts into mine, went from 6 employees to 40, moved to a bigger facility. By year 20, I employed 200 people, contracts with automotive companies, aerospace suppliers, medical device manufacturers, revenue in the 8 figures, my personal net worth just over $7 million, and now, here he was, at my gates, outside the company I'd built, begging for $5. He was still looking at me, sign trembling in his hands, thin hands, malnourished, probably homeless, probably had been for years. Please, he said, voice breaking, I haven't eaten since yesterday, just a few dollars, anything. I could have walked past him, could have said nothing. That would have been the easy revenge, silent, invisible, clean. Let him stand there not knowing who I was, not knowing what I'd become. That would have been enough, but it wasn't enough. I stepped closer. He blinked, confused. Most people crossed the street, walked wide around homeless people. Do I know you? He asked, squinting, trying to focus, trying to place my face. I held his gaze for a long moment, let him search my face, let the years fall away, let him see the 17-year-old who'd walked out, let him see what that 17-year-old had become. Then I saw it, the flicker, the recognition, delayed, uncertain, but there. His mouth opened slightly. The sign slipped from his hands, fell to the wet pavement. Wait, his voice, barely a whisper. Are you? I reached into my pocket. His eyes lit up. Hope, desperation, thinking I was reaching for my wallet, for money, for help. I pulled out a business card, heavy stock, embossed, my name in gold, James Chen, CEO and founder, Chen Precision Manufacturing. I held it in front of him. Let him see it. Let him read it. Let it sink in. You told me I'd never amount to anything, I said quietly, calmly. You were wrong. I let the card fall. It fluttered down, landed in a puddle between us. Then I walked past him, through the gates, heard Randy buzz me in, heard the electronic lock click, heard my father's voice behind me, calling out, but I didn't turn around. Walked into my building, through the lobby, up to my office, corner office, windows overlooking the production floor, set down my briefcase, hung up my coat, sat at my desk, looked out the window at the gates. He was still standing there, staring at the card in the puddle, not picking it up, just staring. I turned away and got back to work.